Life is often compared to a star-studded night sky, where each of us is searching for our own constellation of meaning. While many spend their days chasing the superficial, wealth, status, and the hollow validation of power, true fulfillment remains elusive. Life is fleeting. Like a sudden rain, it gathers and vanishes into thin air. If life is a journey of self-cultivation, we must ask ourselves, what are we truly fighting for? The battle within. The real battlefield isn't the world outside, it's the human heart. It is a constant struggle against the chaos of emotions and desires. In philosophy, we recognize that to live is to suffer, but this suffering stems from our attachment to the five senses and the fleeting nature of existence. To find peace, one must forge a resilient spirit, a mental toughness that allows you to remain unshaken. The higher your state of mind, the more freedom you possess to live life on your own terms, untethered by the trivial. The wisdom of selective connection. There is a profound intelligence in choosing who you walk with. Society often mislabels those who prefer their own company as eccentric or antisocial. However, blindly following the crowd is a heavy psychological burden. It is a form of self-betrayal fueled by the fear of being an outcast. True great intelligence lies in the ability to remain independent regardless of your social circle. As Lao Tzu once suggested, those with different values cannot truly walk the same path. A wise person doesn't just fit in for the sake of it. They weigh the cost of their time and energy, choosing to exit circles that no longer serve their growth. Embracing the lone wolf mentality. If you find yourself without a tribe that aligns with your vision, do not be afraid to walk alone. Choosing quality over quantity in friendships is the hallmark of a sophisticated mind. Instead of maintaining a wide but shallow network, focus your energy on the few who truly matter, family and soul-deep confidants, or dedicate that power to your ultimate goals. Living authentically as a lone wolf is not a sign of weakness. It is a testament to inner strength. It allows you to live a life of ataraxia, a state of serene calmness, free from the prying eyes and judgmental opinions of others. Success isn't just about what you achieve. It's about the courage to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else. The Thoreau Principle. As Henry David Thoreau once famously lived by Walden Pond, solitude is a sacred state. He kept 3 chairs in his house, 1 for solitude, 2 for friendship, and 3 for society. When you stop pretending to enjoy the company of many, you finally return to your true self. Loneliness is a void, but solitude is a superpower. It is the only way to truly understand the essence of life. The social tax. I've come to realize that solitude isn't an enemy, it's a filter. In today's world, we're obsessed with networking. We attend parties we don't enjoy and laugh at jokes that aren't funny, all just to feel like we belong. But have you ever stopped to calculate the cost? I call it the social tax. You're paying with your time, your focus, and ultimately, your identity. Have you ever sat in a crowded room and felt more alone than when you're by yourself? That's your intuition whispering that you're in the wrong place. Nikola Tesla and the frequency of silence. Let's talk about a man who reshaped the world by choosing to stay out of it. Nikola Tesla. History remembers him as an eccentric genius, a madman of sorts. While Thomas Edison was busy building business empires and navigating political circles, Tesla locked himself in his laboratory. Tesla once said, "The mind is sharper and keener in seclusion and uninterrupted solitude." He didn't need the crowd's validation to know he was right. He understood that greatness isn't born in a tea room or a boardroom. It's born when you're brave enough to face yourself in the dark. Personal insight. Looking at Tesla, I realized something. To tune into the frequency of the universe, you often have to disconnect from the frequency of people. Would you have the courage to turn off your phone for 48 hours just to hear your own thoughts? Solitude versus loneliness. There is a massive distinction between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is a void, a feeling of being left behind. Solitude, however, is a superpower. It's a deliberate choice to return to yourself. In the West, we call this intellectual autonomy. When you stop running with the pack, you start seeing the paths everyone else missed. You shift from being a reactor to a creator. Strong individuals don't need an army to feel confident. They are the army. That confidence comes from conquering the greatest human fear, the fear of being forgotten. Christopher McCandless and the raw truth. The second story is that of Christopher McCandless, the subject of Into the Wild. It's an extreme example, but a powerful one. McCandless had everything: an Ivy League education, a wealthy family, a clear future. Yet, he burned his money, left his car, and walked into the Alaskan wilderness. Why? Because he realized modern society was a giant performance. People make friends for leverage. They smile for politeness. They live by standards they don't even understand. How do you define freedom? Is it having 1,000 people around you, or is it having the grit to walk alone without needing any support other than your own 2 feet? The master of one. Ultimately, the peak of human existence isn't standing on a stage of fame. It's the ability to sit quietly in an empty room and feel completely whole. Whether you look at Eastern Wu Wei or Western Stoicism, they both meet at a single point. True power is self-mastery. If you cannot control your own impulses, how can you expect to control your destiny? Don't be afraid to be the lone wolf. Remember, eagles fly alone. It's the sparrows that need a flock. The biology of belonging versus the sovereignty of the soul. We are biologically wired to fear rejection. Thousands of years ago, being kicked out of the tribe meant certain death. That ancient fear still lives in our DNA, whispering that we need to fit in to survive. This is why it feels physically painful when you realize you don't belong in your social circle anymore. But here's the truth that modern society tries to bury. Evolution gave us the instinct to survive, but only solitude gives us the capacity to thrive. When you choose to step away from the noise, you aren't just leaving a group. You are reclaiming your cognitive sovereignty. We live in an era of groupthink, where algorithms and social pressure dictate our tastes, our politics, and even our dreams. By embracing the lone wolf path, you are effectively performing a hard reset on your own mind. Think about the most influential people in history. They weren't the ones who followed the trends. They were the ones who spent enough time alone to realize the trends were hollow. They traded the comfort of the herd for the clarity of the heights. The master of one, the final ascent. True mastery is not about controlling others. It is about becoming a stranger to your own excuses. As we reach the end of this journey, we must look at the concept of the master of one. This isn't about being lonely. It's about being so anchored in your own purpose that the presence or absence of others doesn't shift your internal compass. The Stoics used to talk about the inner citadel, a fortress within the mind that no outside force can conquer. When you stop seeking external validation, your citadel becomes impenetrable. You no longer need a tribe to feel powerful because you have found the source of power within. Returning to the silenced life will continue to be loud. The world will continue to demand your attention, your data, and your soul. But remember the stars we talked about at the beginning. They don't huddle together for warmth. They burn brilliantly, millions of miles apart, yet they navigate the entire universe. Choosing the path of the lone wolf isn't an act of hatred toward the world. It is an act of supreme love for the truth. It is a declaration that your life is too valuable to be spent living someone else's version of it. If you find yourself walking alone today, don't lower your head. Look up. The air is thinner at the top, and the view is much clearer. You aren't lost. You've just finally stopped following the wrong map. Master yourself, and you will never be alone. You will be free.